came out of nowhere and then out of nowhere.
For each man in his time, his pain, until he walks along the beach and sees his future in the water. A long lost heart within his reach. I haven't needed a world to want.
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
As you guys know, it is Drunken Chat, son.
All right, just like the man says, welcome to It's Drunken Chat, son. Hosted by the Comic Crusaders Network. I am Chetland's Beans and Cornbread. I am here with my brothers from another mother, Sir Christopher the Great and Blind Adam, King of Project Pegasus. What's going on?
What's
Not
going on, my
much.
boy?
Just chilling.
Yeah, sorry for the bullshit Eva Muck's freaking logo up there and shit. We still got to get Mel to put us back on StreamYard and everything. But yeah, man, I'm freaking happy to be back. I didn't know if I was going to freaking make it, man. I've been freaking hitting this uh, Volcane tequila too hard. It's called Volcane Demi Tierra. Got the Blanco. Apparently, there's a reposado and all that. It's the hot tequila in the streets right now. And let me tell you, it is not a mixed in tequila. It is not a tequila for those that are newbies. I'm telling you, you take a drop. You take a drop of this shit. Your
With
insides.
the crack cocaine and tequila.
Shit. This tequila wishes it was that freaking soft, right?
Oh
So
wow.
it's conflicted because drinking it, it's soft, right? It hits the tongue soft, but when it hits your insides, it's telling your insides, we shouldn't be here right now, right? So I'm glad I freaking was drinking this at home and not somewhere outside because I don't think I would have been at home right now. But not that you guys want to hear me freaking bullshit about freaking tequila and everything. Let's get into some actual news. Why everybody is here, man? Freaking. Uh oh. There we go. You had some stuff you wanted to talk about, get off your chest, Chris, and it was all about DC Comics is now going to be distributing Universal.
By Universal, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Says Universal Distribution will now distribute DC Comics to comic book stores across the United States. So, I take it after all this nonsense that's been going on with Diamond so far, and with all the other shit that's going on right now. You're starting to see all these different publishers jump ship to different companies to get their books out. Um, and I just think that it's important to pay attention to what's going on right now because it's starting to affect the comics that we buy on a week to week basis. So I'll give you an example of it, although it was more of an error example, but I got a lot of inboxes from people this week talking about they choose violence and how it was recalled. However, some people were able to actually get the books, some people weren't able to get the books. Orders were canceled, the whole 9 yards on the shenanigans. All right. So this is a good time to pay attention to what's going on, with the different distributors.
That wasn't the only error this week either. The Adventure Comics 210 facsimile also had a page duplicated in the story, and it was also recalled and replacements were being given.
And this is about I want to say the third or fourth at least book in the last couple of weeks that have had these errors. The other one was that Ultimate um, Spider-Man Incursions #1. When that book is printed, like a lot of the pages in the book, didn't have the words printed in their respective bubbles. And so I was wondering how they were going to handle that as well, because when they printed that book, we're still kind of like, don't know what happened in those panels, because like I said, the book when it was printed, I don't remember exactly how many pages it was. I just remember there was a decent little chunk of blank pages in that book.
Mm. Well, um, it's tough to see what's going to happen here, right? Because the folks that are reporting it are saying that it's going to be for the comic book stores, but I was formerly tracking as that Lunar would still do the comic book stores, right? But the bookstores, this is a very important designation. The bookstores would be taken over by somebody else, right? So that's when the email comes to me, I will let y'all know. But that's a different, definitely a big that's difference, right? Because bookstores are going to have a different pile of money that they can grab from versus comic book stores, which have to do cash only or they're beholden to whatever investors that they got. So that's going to be interesting to see. Uh, Baker,
All right, so next up, I want to touch on this as well, because I know a lot of people over the last couple of weeks, they've been wondering what's going on with Dynamite. When you go to order the books on a weekly basis,
yeah.
they haven't been offering a whole lot of Diamond books, and then things got all, janky and, so on and so forth. So the reason behind that as well is that Dynamite has officially dropped Diamond distribution, and
hmm
they are currently en route to Lunar. Okay, so the final order cutoff for this is going to be June 23rd, and then we'll actually start seeing those changes by July 9th and July 16th. So
So,
now,
so let me interrupt you there. I've already started. I was in the lunar site earlier today, and it's already been happening. It's already happened for the last week. Um, some of the stuff that we have been talking about for like the last month on FOC, it's right back up there. So they went back maybe a month or two and put that stuff back up for FOC, and it's available now on the lunar site, which is crazy.
yeah, so some of
I
these
know
books
they
are
said
being.
everything was already printed and that allocations will most likely occur.
Yeah, which is insane, because it's almost like putting a book up twice, right? So not only had to do your due diligence as a retailer and customer to go through all the solicitations and place your orders and get everything in that you wanted, but we got to do this shit all over again dealing with Dynamite. So I don't know how much people love Dynamite out there. They got some good titles, but nonetheless, I hope everything smooths out for them, and people are continue to get what they like. So, um, next up, I wanted to get into the MCU talk. Okay, so Ironheart is of course starting next week on the 24th,
Mm.
and we've been getting little hints and little kind of Easter eggs before we even get to see the series. I know Marvel had released some type of written notes, and then they highlighted one of the letters, which being M for Mephisto, is what a lot of people are thinking and rumoring. So, the latest reports show us that Mephisto may show up in episode 5 or 6. I guess Sacha Baron Cohen will be in his human form, according to the report. Now, another trailer that dropped for Ironheart recently, I put it in the group chat so everybody can see it as well. But if you watch one of these trailers, in the first, I want to say maybe 2 seconds, it highlights the Iron Man suit eyes, right? But you mostly see the glow of the eyes, and first thing that I thought when I saw it was, oh shit, Mephisto, another Mephisto reference, right? And I think that with them building up to the show, because people already had kind of a hate train going for this show already, for really, no apparent reason other than if you don't like the character, understandable. But the hate train definitely started for this show. So I'm happy that they're finally starting to recognize the fact that we've been wanting Mephisto for years now. They've been teasing him coming for years now. So I'm hoping that they finally make good on their teasing in this show.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I could say we can. There's a lot of people that didn't like the actress. That would be me as well. Um, I swear to God that I think there was a lot more actresses that could have did it. But then, no, who knows? She blew somebody away, right? So that's fine. Um, what I don't know. I don't really care about Mephisto. I think there's a whole bunch of other things that they were working towards, like this whole dark whole thing, like the WandaVision thing, the Scarlet Witch, and the Agnes thing. I think those were freaking awesome. I didn't now unless they're doing the I forget what the name of the storyline is with Ironheart and Miles Morales and Kamala Khan and is it One More Day? I think it is some shit like that. They did that. Well,
Is this
actually,
the one where Miles makes his
it's
deal with
yeah,
Mephisto?
yeah. So they're in a weird spot, right? Because they did the whole thing where um, what's his name? The freaking Warlock, the
Adam
fuck,
Warlock.
not Adam Warlock. He,
Uh, Wiccan?
no, the freaking Doctor Strange. Excuse me, Doctor Strange made everybody forget that Peter Parker was Spider Man, right? And then there was a whole bunch of fallout, but he didn't do it right because they didn't add all the other elements, right? So I don't know, man. If unless they, I hope they don't do this and then bring in Mephisto and mess it up similarly as well. So
Well, from the report that I read, um, basically the direction that they want to use this in is that they were of course going to acknowledge the original ties between Red Hood and this dark force energy and spelling and all this, right, this magic side of it. um because originally that was through Dormammu. Okay, so they said that they're still going to acknowledge the connections between Red Hood and Dormammu himself, but apparently he will be making some sort of, deal with Mephisto. Now, I feel two ways about this. One, it's been a long time coming, no doubt, but we do have other things that we should focus on primarily. And I honestly think that this is going to be something that is relevant later on after we get done with Secret Wars, because right now there's not a whole lot of room for Mephisto, for his story and, that take place. Although I always still want to see the dynamic between Doctor Doom and Mephisto, of course. I still want to see that hands down, but with the recent announcements and the fact that, it was pretty much an unofficial announcement that Marvel Studios will be making this X-Men reboot, right? And they're going to focus on some of the key mutant characters that a lot of people have been wanting to see done correctly for the longest now. One of those characters is Juggernaut, supposedly. So if you know
mm.
anything about Juggernaut, you know about the what do we call it? The Crimson Jewel of
talk about the
Sidorak.
Satiric bands.
Thing?
Yeah. Sidorak and um, the ties with that and Juggernaut. I believe they said that they were going to explore some of that. All right, because if you know anything about Juggernaut's story, you know about that Jewel of Sidorak and all that. They may deep dive into it because now they'll have a completely open slate to do anything after Secret Wars, because we've already been pretty much told that Mr. Sinister will be one of the primary villains in the X-Men film coming up, and that will, of course, he'll put on his whole little genetic show and do his experiments and all the, 9 10 all that, right?
Right.
But they also have mentioned that they wanted to bring some of the modern concepts, like how we have the current X-Men run going on right now. A lot of people were feeling it at the beginning. Some people are still into it, that are real X-Men fans, or let's just say, just enjoy reading whatever. But whole time, dude, I just really hope that once they do get past this Secret Wars thing, right, and they have a fresh slate to pretty much do whatever they want, I want to see the supernatural aspect of things. So, they said they were going to headline that with Ghost Rider. They also said that the Blade project is back in talks. Okay, so
Okay,
they also
that's
said
good to
that
hear.
they are going to bring
Well,
in Ghost
you know
Rider.
what's burned that, right? You know
Hmm.
what's burned that, right? Sinners.
And I was
Yep.
pretty sure of it. And the whole aspect that they are going towards now, if they're going to do this supernatural side like they promised us, right? One of the biggest villains that we have yet to see yet that would be perfect for a Midnight Suns team up, of course, would be the original villain of that story, being Lilith. So I definitely would love to see that shit. If they're gonna make it happen, then this is their chance to do so. I think, even though you're introducing X-Men, that isn't going to be I feel like that may be the main focus, but you know how Marvel does when they tell stories, it's one
Hmm.
layer on top of another layer on top of another layer, and so on and so forth. So it's a big chance that we get deep into the supernatural realm and start meeting characters like Lilith and Dracula and Mephisto and the different Hell Lords, So I think it's all, if this show does what it's supposed to do, Marvel is hoping that it is kind of like the takeoff point for science and magic. That whole aspect hasn't truly been explored yet to me, because we've had magical characters in the MCU and we've had science driven characters in the MCU, but we've never had both in the MCU. They were going to tease it, doing the whole Iron Maiden post, or not even post credit scene, but they shot a couple scenes where they had Benedict Cumberbatch in his Doctor Strange get up in an Iron Man suit. And then they also played with Robert Downey Jr. wearing the cloak of um, the Sorcerer Supreme cloak, right? And
Mm.
they actually did shoot scenes for this for, I want to say, Endgame and Infinity War, but they ended up not using it. And most of the time, when Marvel doesn't use something, that means you have a. If they felt like it was good material, you got a good chance of seeing something of it later on, or they'll just push the concept in a different way. So this show is supposed to launch our whole magic and science as one type thing adventure, right? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting, right? Because the main character that is both sciency and magicy right now is Doom, right?
correct.
So I would say I'm looking forward to see what they'll lean into on what's it, July 24th? I believe that's when Fantastic Four
25th
is
is
supposed to come out.
FF.
Yeah, that's when I want to see how are they going to explain his just explain his origin about his mom, or are they going to fully lean into the magic, or are they just going to go on the science stuff?
After rereading books of Doom, I really, really hope they lead into the whole science slash sorcery thing with his mom, and how Doctor Doom at the end of the day is a character that's both science and magic.
Yeah, yeah, because in the end, you're still negotiating with old boy Kang to try and bring him back, because a lot of people are understanding that he probably got done wrong. So, and to trash all that they did for him and with him, it's probably pretty crazy. But before I go on, I do want to make sure I give a shout out to all the folks that are in the chat. Derek Eman, GT Comics, Half Price Corrupt says he was going to stay around, but he wishes that he didn't have to smash. So take that for what you think it means. Brad Seldon says, "Hey, great Derek, great to see you." Um, Universe X How's it going? Mojo Quid, and then Mojo Quid is saying, "Hey, hopefully to give Blade the cooler, that way he could have a second crack at a vampire movie, except in the Marvel sandbox. He can obviously handle science, vampire, and mysticism." Remind me again, what was the other movie that he did before Sinners? I'm trying to remember.
He well, his biggest things really in latest times have been Black Panther, the original,
Okay.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then his offshoot movies, like his non-MCU movies. But his influence as well on Ironheart, he was brought in for an executive producer position for this show as well. So he had a lot of say so in the development of the character, which is like what his main thing was, especially when he introduced her in Wakanda Forever. So they brought him back in for the show because he was the original one that was obviously laying the guidelines and the landlines out for Riri Williams inside the MCU. So his
Hmm.
vision for the character will actually continue in Ironheart, which is why they brought him in for this series. Um,
Fruitvale Station, which I've heard is a good movie, and then Black Panthers, Judas and the Black Messiah. Haven't watched it, and Sinners. So yeah, he's got a pretty good lineup so far.
Yep, and
Sounds
Um,
this comes out on the 24th, and then of course a month from that day, a month later, we'll have Fantastic Four First Steps. So that brings me to my next slide. All right, so the next slide, let me give you a visual, Adam. These are all of the popcorn buckets, collectibles, and whatever else for both Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, me personally, I really am feeling the Superman Daily Bugle news vending machine, if you would call it. It's like a newsstand machine, like from back in the day where we used to have to put the little quarters in, and then you pull the front down and get your newspaper, get your magazine or whatever you're buying at that time. But I thought that them bringing that out was fucking dope. A lot of the younger people won't understand it, but of course us old heads who remember putting that 75 cent, 50 cent into that machine to get the latest newspaper definitely
yeah.
remembers it.
So if you were like me and like to get your little hustle on, right? You knew that, and this is only for see. This is kind of crazy, right? This is how the difference in between if you are a literate person and if you don't give a fuck, right? I was a literate person, but I also didn't give a fuck, right? So I would take my little 25 cents, put it inside the thing, right? And instead of grabbing one, I would grab a whole stack, right? And usually they trust people because who wants to take a whole fucking stack on the fucking subway, right? I do, because then I could take that little fucking stack and I sell them motherfuckers for 50 cents, sometimes 75 cents, especially on Fridays,
Hmm.
right? Like I did that for a few weeks, man. Was making fucking $50 here, $75 here, man. Shit.
And people don't understand that back in the day, that was your news, that was your TikTok, that was your Twitter,
Hmm.
that was your source of
That was your
information.
LinkedIn. That's how you got a
you
fucking
know
job.
the
that's how
You
you
wanted a
knew
fucking
newspapers.
where.
job, you had a fucking you had to open
Yeah,
that
that's
bitch up.
that's
Man.
how we
Newspaper.
knew where
That's how you also found out what time the movies played and what time the TV shows were on and
I was literally just
everything.
about to say that. That was your TV guide, that was your show guide, that was your movies guide.
Whatever was
If
going
there
on in the
was
city guide.
There was no
activities
ESPN. There was no
worth
ESPN back
going
then.
to,
You had the
they were
sports
in the
section.
newspaper.
Yep, yep. I didn't even read comics back then, but I did read the comics, and they were inside the paper, right? I was all about Snoopy and Garfield and freaking.
Fuck Snoopy. Fuck
I
Snoopy.
hey now he's not the Easter Bunny. Come on now, man. They all Snoopy.
Garfield
They
could
all
so
Snoop
whoop
Dogs.
Snoopy's ass.
Say what?
And then
Garfield could so whoop Snoopy's ass.
Not when he's freaking being doped up on lasagna, man. Freaking
Oh, that's true.
Garfield could barely move. Hey,
Uh,
Tony
what's going on,
Fix,
freaking Tony
welcome in.
Fix?
Tony, what's
Tony
up, brother
Fix it.
Tony?
But I also wanted to highlight a couple of things for Fantastic Four as well. The things that I was most intrigued about, of course, as everybody knows, is the three best popcorn boxes that we've seen in a while. That being the Galactus head, the
Yep.
Herbie robot, the Fantastic Car. I want all three. Take my fucking 250 or whatever it is, because I'm pretty sure it'll be about $200
Yeah,
at
because isn't
minimum.
the Galactus like like almost $90 on its own?
Yeah, the Galactus is $80 on its own. The Herbie, if I'm not mistaken, is about $50, and the Fantastic Car is probably $50 as well. They also had the Reed Richards popcorn bucket that received a little backlash online this week because it looks a little strange, of what that thing wrapped around the bucket actually is. I guess from a certain angle, people say it looks a little bit too close to the man's
I told you every part of his
reason for
body could
Suzanne
stretch.
living.
Yeah.
And then also, I want to highlight the little cups in the bottom in the left hand corner. Um, Adam, it is four different cups. They're each themed like each member of the Fantastic Four. Those are also pretty cool. And then they also have these keychains, if you will, on somewhat of a retro card action figure packaging. And those as well
Those look
are,
sweet.
I believe they're 5 for 100. They're $20 a piece. There is a Reed, Sue, Johnny, Ben, and Galactus one, and apparently we may even have a mystery one that they haven't revealed to us yet. Um, Back on the Superman side of things, when you go to see Superman, I forget which theater it is, but you will be given um, the Crypto Last Dog of Krypton #1. I think it was the Mora cover, but they'll be giving that book out at the theaters. I know here in Las Vegas, in the town square, at 6 o'clock, they're doing a fan event. Usually, when they do these fan events, there is either an actor, actress, director, or somebody that had to deal with the franchise. Usually shows up to these type of events because, of course, a lot of them live out here, but they're currently touring around the world for the film.
Mm.
So, that'll be a good chance for some people to pop up. If you see a fan event going on, you might be able to pop up there and like I learned from my boy Adam, go ahead and get your crypto last dog of Krypton signed by, perhaps the actors or whoever shows up to the event, because a lot of times when they do those fan events, that's usually what happens. And I'll give you a little secret. When I was buying my tickets, they had four open seats to the left side of the theater. Those were actually the seats that I tried to buy. Then I came to find out that those seats were blocked, so they left those four seats open, no telling who it is or who it could be, but I just know that they blocked those four seats from being purchased. So
And I also know that for the world premiere tour, uh, leading up to the premiere in China, uh, I know there were like two of the cities were Los Angeles and New York. So, I think that the things leading up to the red carpet premiere in China, so I was reading the report right, were available to the public at certain points.
hell yeah.
It's actually amazing that they're actually going to show it because usually there's an embargo on U.S. Movies, especially blockbusters during the summertime in China. So the fact that it's even happening is, I think they only lifted the embargo like since last summer. I think that's
And it's
how
kind of
long it's
interesting
been.
that they were doing the world red carpet premiere out in China,
Yeah.
which was like the first time in my 35 years of being in the entertainment business I've ever seen that.
Hmm.
Very
Oh,
interesting to say the least.
okay.
Now, on to my next slide. Let's get into a little bit of actual comic news. All right, so I don't know about everybody else, but I know that a lot of people hate to see Noel coming because when he died and got thrown in the sun, everybody sold their shit off. Okay, well, I was one of those
Which is
lucky people,
weird. It's just
right?
fucking weird.
Because you would think that they introduce a character that I, for one, fell in love with when I first was introduced to it. Reading the entire King in Black series, reading the entire Venom saga. So he is returning in issue 250, and not only is he returning, but the writer that they put on this is what has me excited. That
Al
being
motherfucking
Al
Ewing.
fucking Hewing. So if you're not familiar with Null or you sold off all this shit, I would definitely suggest for you to go pick up, what you can of it. I know the A covers are about, $150 for a 9.8. The cover, the third print that everybody wants, is usually dangling between 250 all the way up to about 500, depending on who you're buying it from. But I got a good feeling about this return. I would definitely hope they explain how he survived or came back
I'm looking
after
forward to
being
this.
thrown into the sun by the Unipower combined with Eddie Brock. Okay, because if we're keeping it real, the triple threat that I want to see is King and Black, Eddie Brock, maybe as the eventuality, Carnage, God King Carnage, because recently on some of the cover reveals, Venom, Spider Verse versus Venomverse, we did see Carnage in his God King form once again. Then that last participant being Null himself. So, what do you guys think? Thoughts on this?
I am looking up Thor God of Thunder number 6 right now, and it's as high as $1,500, and
Wait, six is
the
the first
low.
appearance of the sword, right?
Oh no, that's Mexican version. Jesus Christ. Looks like the low might be around, and these are for bids 40, yeah, $40, $45, and everything. Not CGC, not certified or anything, right? Um, so look, if anybody can revive everybody's interest in it, it's going to be Al Ewing and freaking John Hickman,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
They,
really
they've got a
excited
lot
about
of,
this.
they've got a lot of holes they need to freaking plug, which is going to be interesting because they're going to be doing this at the same time they're doing this whole Imperial freaking timeline, right? So I'm excited about what they can do with that as well.
And
They
it
are,
doesn't end there because I still got more. You know, I
yeah,
think that.
they
Go
are
ahead.
amazing. Look, they are amazing at beginning stuff. They are,
It's just
they,
about the landing.
yeah, their storylines are
It's
freaking
the
amazing when they
climax
freaking
that
get it, but it's
really
the landing,
falls
yeah,
flat.
because they're not giving full carte blanche on all that stuff.
Yeah, and throwing Null into the sun to kill him was kind of like bullshit to me. I know that a lot of people, including myself, are disappointed by that finish, but let's just keep it real. The entire Null saga was one of the best told stories, best drawn stories that we've got in quite some time.
Excuse
I
me,
say,
Chris.
yeah,
Anything from the beginning, the Donny Cates Denim run, all the way to the end of King of Black, was probably one of the best eras of Denim in history.
indeed. I
So
put
I'm looking
this.
forward to seeing what Al Ewing's going to really do with this. And if you want to invest in the stuff right now, it's cheap. It's cheaper than it's been in a while. Uh,
And
you know,
I
it's like
definitely say this, the entire King in Black story is definitely a part of my top five. Secret Wars, as everybody knows me, Secret Wars 2015 Hickman is my number one and probably always will be. But King in Black Saga was definitely in my top five. Also with X-Men vs. Avengers, I love that too. But that brings me to something I want to talk about with the big two, which is the crossover between Deadpool and Batman. So we learned
I'm
that
really
not
looking forward to
only
this.
will there be two different runs, that being Deadpool versus Batman, which will be the Marvel released run, as well as Batman and Deadpool, which will be released through DC. They just revealed the rest of some of those covers to us. That included one with Crypto and Jeff the Land Shark, and
This is gonna
another
be
one
gangbusters.
with Daredevil and Green Arrow.
Written by
Uh,
Kevin Smith. I could not be happier.
Really?
yeah, he finally
Huh.
made his return to, pitch in on this Daredevil
That's
Green Arrow.
crazy. That's crazy because literally, I think it was maybe just a couple months ago, or maybe just a month ago, somebody was asking Kevin Smith about doing something for DC. So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So
Yeah,
this has me
he's had a comic book
excited.
writing renaissance right now too.
It's got Archie. That's all you need.
And you
It's like
also see,
one of the highest ordered archies in modern history right now.
yeah, and you also see in the titles, they are definitely running with the new Batman logo, which is not too bad to me. I like it actually. It's not as horrible as that Punisher logo that we got, a couple of years ago, where it, me personally, I didn't have anything against that Punisher logo. But apparently, a lot of people did, and they just couldn't grasp the concept that, hey, dude, this is for this story, okay? This doesn't mean that he's gonna change his symbol on every fucking title he ever comes out with for the rest of his life, okay? That's not what this means. But apparently people hated it at that time, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
going past that, let's talk about my last thing because this um is something I wanted to highlight. Shout out to Universe X in the comments. He said they just announced a cosmic clone of Peter Parker. You think that has anything to do with this? Now, um, from what I'm understanding, the cosmic Peter Parker that we're supposed to be getting is indeed going to be in Battle World. Now, the whole concept of this is just like it was in the original Battle World, but with basically more modern characters. All right, and I guess this is also being done by the Beyonder reading the solicitation. So I'm also excited for this. And we are supposed to get that cosmic Spider Man. They didn't necessarily say it was Peter Parker yet, but they did say that we were going to get a new cosmic Spider Man, which I am fucking excited for. One, because, Spider Man is more of your friendly neighborhood, street level Spider Man character, fighting street crime, right? But over the years, we've seen Spider Man go up against stronger villains and stronger. He was a part of the team that went up against Null. We've seen him in different things, but to actually get a Spider Man in the cosmic side of things is something that I've been waiting a long time for.
Yeah.
Besides,
Well,
like,
yeah, yeah. There's
universe Spider Man,
no,
right?
I believe there's been a cosmic Spider-Man before.
Yeah, it is.
Just
It was the one that got the power of the
yeah,
universe,
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
that was a Spectacular Spider-Man 158.
yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued because just this past week, there was because Penguin puts out these must-haves, right? It's like a comic book, and it's like an amalgamation of like different freaking books that have already freaking come out, and then they want you to look at the story and read the story like, hey, this is going to be kind of important. This is going to be kind of important. And I think there was a Spider-Man story in here, but there was also a Storm story in there, and then the Storm story, she gets she becomes a cosmic storm, which is kind of crazy.
Hmm.
She was given in the cosmic powers by the Infinity. So, yeah, this whole I would be interested in it if it wasn't Battle World. I'm just not a Battle World guy. I could care less about it unless it's like on animation or some shit. I'm not interested in reading it. Right? I mean, I think what was the last really good one Battle World was back when Venom was first introduced as the suit for Spider-Man. That was like was that 1986 or some shit.
Yeah, the
Was
battle royal took place in the 1984 Secret
Mhm.
Wars. But don't get me wrong, like, look at some of the characters that they have on the cover. I mean, you have Starbrand, you have and it looks like the 1 billion BC Odin. All right,
Oh wow,
the
they're bringing back
Odin that we
Starbrand for
got
this.
from um, Avengers 1 million BC.
Yeah,
He's on
Starbrand's
the
supposed to be
cover.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Starbrand. So Starbrand was highlighted. I want to say I know he was highlighted in the Avengers 1 million BC because they showed the first character that got the Star Brand powers, which actually, ironically, looked like a Hulk. Okay, so that was like basically the Hulk of the 1 million Avengers BC team. Um, but I still find it interesting, and the fact that the Beyonder is coming back to fuck with things yet again has my interest, okay? Because Beyonder has always been one of my favorite characters, especially once we got that Defenders Beyond run, where we got deeper into the lore of the Beyonders, and of course, back in the Secret Wars run, where they got into the whole Kings aspect, and then I also enjoyed how later on they used the Venom runs to talk about the Kings in Black, and that they were the balance of the universe when it came to the Ivory Kings. So, just the fact that the Beyonder is coming back, it piques my interest quite a bit. So,
Okay.
looking forward to this.
Okay. All right.
And that's all I got for our opener. So we can dive into some good shit now.
Okay. So hold on. Let's get with some of these. Um, Tony Vick says he wants the Alamo Draft House Fantastic Four glasses. Here we go.
They're nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Um, and then what else I got?
I
Oh,
think the two best
if
buckets for Superman, I think, is that crypto. The crypto where he's sitting there with the bucket in front of him. And then, of course, the Daily Bugle newspaper joint. And then the one where he looks like he's breaking the popcorn machine. Kind of
yeah,
like, I
that's
guess,
a must have. That's a must
yeah.
have. I gotta have that one.
I just
Um,
heard that there was a theater also doing a crypto dog bowl too.
yeah,
Yes, there is. That one's at the bottom, right next to
the
the
Cinemark.
crypto,
That's
and
Cinemark.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
you'll be able to get it at Cinemark.
I'm getting that from my cat.
Yeah. Um, gents, can I interest you in a movie
Possibly.
about Captain America fighting over this girl with Reed Richards? Would
I
you
can get
watch this
behind
movie?
this.
It's a love triangle movie.
Okay.
Would you go see this movie?
I'm not into love triangles, but knowing where your two minds be at, I don't know if the wife will approve of this one.
No, she. It's a movie called The Materialist with
Is
the
this the
actor
one
that
with
plays.
Pascal, Chris Evans,
Uh
and
huh.
what's her
And
name?
oh yeah, 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 Madam Web, the chick that plays Madam Web. Forgot
Yep,
about that
and
part.
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, that's what it was sold as. It was literally sold as that. Like, oh hey, freaking Captain America, Frederick Pascal, Last of Us, and oh yeah, by the way, he's gonna be guy gonna be Fantastic Four. Oh yeah, the chick from Fifty Shades of Grey, and freaking she was Madam Web. They're gonna be in a freaking movie together, and it's a whole love triangle type of thing, right? My wife was heard about the whole love triangle thing. She was like, oh, she's got to see it. Went there to the Alamo. I swear to fucking God, I was the only penis in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you the only guy in there?
I was the only penis in there. Yes, I was the only fucking guy in there, right? And I was like, oh shit, what the fuck have I been fucking dragged into? But let me fucking tell you, this is one of the my favorite movies of 2025 so far, right? And it was bad because I was very rude, and I apologized to the theater because I was laughing so fucking hard at this fucking movie, right? Um, because I know a lot of women they were like there for the love triangle, but it was more like every single 2 minutes there was like an insult being thrown at women. Like, hey, ma'am, you are 40 years old, yet you still want a guy that's 6'2", makes $150,000, has no kids. Um, Yet you make $40,000, you're obese, and that and blah blah blah. And it was like going at him. And then one chick was like, "Hold up, I'm only 38," and the dude was like, "Yeah, that's 40. You're just fucking 40." So it was if man, it was the most fun freaking movie I've seen so far this year. Now, the other movie that I just saw this afternoon. Let's get back to real actual comics, right? 28 years later, right? It just came out this freaking week. And this was the third movie in the installation after 28 days later. Then there was 28 weeks later, and now here we are, 28 years later, right? Absolutely freaking great. Way better than the other two until like the very, very like the last 2 minutes where it gets kind of freaking crazy and shit, right? But the freaking great freaking movie makes you freaking want you to fucking shake your fist like what the fuck are you doing, right? Because there's always that one fucking stupid person that's doing stupid shit, and it was freaking justified. Freaking great freaking movie, and don't forget that this was a comic, um, put out by Boom number one back in 2011 if I'm not mistaken. So, and the way they set it up, there's definitely going to be another freaking movie. There's got to be a freaking video game coming soon on this
And
one.
I also think
So
they also just re-released the first two movies back on the DVD after being out of print for like forever.
yeah, I watched the first one yesterday. Or was it the other day? And I was like, man, this shit was fucking terrible. But then, and it was not what I remembered. But when I got to the second one, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, this is pretty fire. This is pretty
Unfortunately,
good.
the first one does not hold up all that well. I watched it about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And then I totally forgot that Hawkeye was in the second one.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, that was crazy. So man, you're like all these freaking great freaking Marvel characters that are in all these little random movies that I'm seeing all of a sudden. So that was a great one. All right, I think we are ready to actually go into this FOC. Let's see. Actually, let me make sure I check the universe. That says, yeah, Lucas is right. Going to battle the first Thunder God, Hadad, and she will get her infinity powers. Yep. Hadid was introduced in issue number 9 in the current Storm run. And them chick flicks. Yes, I was forced to do something nice for my wife, and she made me go freaking see it. But you know what? This is not a chick flick. It's not a fucking chick flick. It is a guy's flick. It is a because I'm telling you guys, when the movie was over, that motherfucking theater was so quiet, so motherfucking quiet. Of like you could hear a fucking pin drop. You could hear the gears inside every freaking person's fucking head turning and shit with disappointment. And Universe X is saying that he's got the 28 days later single issues run and the trade paperback. Man, I wish I got. In fact, after this, I'm probably going to freaking look it up and freaking get me a freaking copy because I'm hooked on the freaking um this franchise now. Um, okay, so for the FOC, I do have the photos ready, but I decided to do something else. Right,
So it was that good
it was that good.
that
Absolutely.
that the theater was like left speechless or left
No. Oh, you
shocked.
talking about materialist?
The one you said that, yeah, I guess if that's the one you
No,
said the whole
no.
theater
So
is quiet.
it was so. So imagine you're going to a movie, right? And it's about Martin Luther King, right? And you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a great movie, and they're gonna tell us about how great Martin Luther King was, but instead they talk about all the shitty stuff he fucking did, and they basically paint him as a horrible person. That's what type of movie this was, right? Because It was definitely painted as a love triangle, but there is zero love triangle in this, right? It was just the main girl in this one. She was just hopping from dick to dick. That's all this was. There was no love triangle. Yeah, there was no. Oh, should I go with this guy? Should I go with this guy? She was like, no. I'm.
He was a
I.
cockapper.
She's like, yeah. She was like, I'm tired of this cock, so I'm gonna fucking drop on this freaking cock,
Cockapper.
right? It's really that freaking simple.
Cockapper.
She's basically a penis hop. It's a thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Cockapper.
I mean, she let the one guy freaking pay for her breakfast, lunch, dinner, and fucking for her apartment for a little while. But after that, she got freaking tired of it, and she was literally looking for
Lunch
reasons to
and
not be
dinner.
with the fucking guy.
Yeah.
She was a
All right,
cockapper.
all right. Let's not go too long. Let's get at least get
Yeah,
into some of
before I
these.
get
Right.
carried away.
The reason why I'm trying to show you this page is so that if you're ever looking for the stuff that's on FOC, you can go to this freaking page. There is some stuff still in Diamond, but it's hidden. You got to do all types of searches and everything. But instead, what you can do is you can go to this page. It's at prhcomics.com, and it will at least give you um, some of these, right? Like, so it'll give you Archie Comics, Boom, Dark Horse Comics, some of the DC comics, but more like the DC TPBs. Distillery. Actually, let's click on ID Publishing, Marvel, and it'll give you Titan, but I'm not going to go into that stuff. And here it is, FOC, June 23rd. Order these titles by Monday, and you don't need an account to get into this. But if you do want to save what you are tend to order, you can make an account, and then there's like a little checkbox that you can click, and then you can freaking print it out or download it for yourself or download it to your phone. All right, so first up is that we don't have the picture for it yet, but the Amazing Spider-Man #8 Umberto Rambos variant, and that's an incentive variant. Also, we've got this Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Tides of Terror. That's gonna be crazy. Uh oh, that's not gonna be good. Uh, okay, there's going to be an incentive for One World Under Doom at #6, the J. Scott Campbell Virgin variant. I don't have the on this page. They don't have the art for it yet. Let's see, actually, can I make this bigger so everybody can see? Here we go. There's also Jet the Land Shark #2, a Paco Mendino, looks very cute. There's also a Rian Gonzalez. I do like this Amazing Spider-Man #8, Jeff DeCal. We don't have the art for the One World Under Doom #6, the RB Silver variant. Roy Mercado for Phoenix #3. Let's see. Star Wars Dr. Aphra, Chaos Agent, the Marguerite Savage. And then there's a Jenny Frison version for Emma Frost, the White Queen. Let's see if that's come up yet.
Nice.
That looks so good.
Speaking
She's been
of,
on a fucking roll, man. And her cherry that she just dropped with Larry Wells is not only up there in price already, but it's fucking great. You know, it's a great looking book,
that's a
man.
great cherry book.
Yeah,
Mm.
dude. I just wish they were. Well, I guess when you drop that type of shit, it you know it's going to be limited, I guess, because they are quite a bitch to get a hold of.
Like I said, I didn't think anything was going to tap that Adam Hughes Cherry 24, but the Frizzen actually did it for me.
Yeah, the Frizzin actually, I ain't gonna lie, dude. The Frizzin shitted on the Hughes to me. It just looks that damn good to me.
Yeah.
The Hughes is a little too raunchy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to
That's
have
why I
the,
love it.
yeah, but I, yeah, but
I'm not
see,
the internet version for nothing.
that's not the type of book that I would want to be on display in my house, and then my grandmother comes over and sees that shit and like wonders what I'm really doing in the comic industry, and she's
Mm.
just like what are you really doing? Are you into comics, or did you open up your LLC to do porn? That's what that book looks like to me.
Because one day you will pass, man, and there will we have to be somebody that will have to go through your shit, right? Um, let's see.
Can we please change the subject to happier things? Because I was having that discussion with someone earlier today too, and it just
All I
gave
can
me.
say is not gonna be able to read the comic books in heaven, man.
I know exactly, and that thought lingered in my
Man,
head for like 2 hours to
look,
a
we
point
we
where
don't know that yet, and don't fuck up my dreams, Lucas. I don't appreciate that shit, bro.
Better, better read them bitches now.
No, I'm
um.
taking all my shit with me. Whatever doesn't sell is definitely coming with me.
Oh shit. Star Wars. Dr. Aphra Chaos Agent number 2. There is a Ricky Yagawa variant. First one on the Star Wars, as far as I'm tracking.
And
Uh,
Lucas, no meaning to interrupt you, but for
yeah.
what week is this for? Is this July 16th?
You know what? Let me check. On sale July. Yeah, on sale July 23rd.
July 23rd. So
Yeah.
this FOC is for the
Now some of these may be
tomorrow
mixed
week.
up, right? Some of these may be mixed up because different publishers sometimes have different freaking publish dates. Um,
Yeah, because the 18th is not even fucking Wednesday. The 16th is the Wednesday, and then 23rd. So it's probably for those 2 weeks. Or did we order that shit already? No, that's this week. That's for this. That's all right. No, I just like to look because if I need to know what the week is because I'm used to looking at FOC on Previews World, and now you can't do that shit.
yeah.
So now I
So
have to use
so
the site you're recommending.
so I think you can. Yeah,
No,
you
I just
can.
I just went and fucking on previews. All they're showing is like 6 second prints.
Right. So what you got to do? Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I was using previews, but
So you gotta go to search.
but
Right.
what website are you using? Like because like I
Previews
said,
world. Previews world.
previewsworld.com.
Yeah. Previewsworld.com. That said, what did I say? July 23rd.
yes, you did, sir.
July 23rd.
Because it
Right. And then I'll leave the search box open. Let's go with category comics. And then let's go with, because I don't need anybody else. I just need the Marvel
just
stuff.
click Marvel and see what it says. Because
So
like
you
when
got
I
you
went
got to make
to it
sure it's
right,
Marvel. You got to make sure it's Marvel PRH, right? And then you do your search, and then there we go.
yeah, because even how it still shows up, right? Like I'm on Previews World, right? But how it
Mhm.
shows up is it still just says Marvel Comics. It has image up top, Ahoy Comics, Alter. But however, all I'm trying to say is when you go to Previews World and then you go through your pull box to look at the books, right? It's only showing Imperial #1, second print by Chichetto. Um, also a 1 in 25 copy by Scotty Young. And then it's showing One World Under Doom third printing, One World Under Doom #2 second printing, Number three, second printing. Number four, second printing. And then Ultimate Spider-Man 17 second printing, as well as Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number one, second printing. So that's the only books that it shows when you go through this way.
What? I have no idea what
I,
you're saying. I'm just
I swear to God, if you go like, all right, like I'm on my
previous
phone,
world. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Don't go. Don't. I don't know about the phone, but I'm on my computer. Then I did previousworld.com. Am I even logged in? I don't think I'm even logged in. Oh yeah, I might be logged in. Logged in. Got to get your login. Do the thing for July 23rd on both the beginning date and end date. Make sure you put in Marvel PRH. And you do search, and then all the stuff should come up. All right. Now, if there's something, maybe if there's something wrong with the phones that you can't do it by phone, I could see
Yeah, it
that
is,
happening.
cause like I said, I'm so used to the format of previous world pull box, like
Mm.
usually on the phone, and I mean, like, we got computers too, but I seldomly use that shit if I don't have to. But um when you go to it, like, and what I usually do is click on the pull box, then I go to the right side and click the three horizontal stripes, and then I go up here and do comics, and then I hit Marvel Comics, and even now it still says no items found. So
Really? Because I
I
just did
swear to
what you
God,
just. I just did. Yeah. Because I just did what you just explained, but I did it on my computer, and it's coming up. So it must be a phone thing.
or it may just be because maybe you have a retailer account and this is just a regular customer, right? Because, like, no bullshit, I don't even know, but I know, like I said, usually when I go to previews, I hit more, and then I hit final order cutoff, and then I go up top and I hit comics, and then choose a publisher. But like I said, even on here, it's only
Right.
showing me
Right.
fucking 8 books.
Yeah. No. The account that I'm under right now is just a regular account. It is attached to a particular retailer, which is me as the retailer. But yeah, it's just a regular account. So yeah, try to get it on a computer and let me know what's going on
Oh
with
no,
that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm doing split window right now with the show and previews, and it still is showing me like that.
Really, on your computer.
Yeah, it's showing me the same exact fucking way that it was on my phone. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, I got the week. I just want to know what week we were in so that I could follow along.
Weird. Okay. Let's go back to
I'll just go to league and then go to the week of the 18th and or 16th and 23rd.
yeah. Um, Spider Girl. Number one, David Nakayama ratio version. This is probably going to be a 125. This is for the second print for this
Mm, yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this one up just to support the boy.
They got two
one.
others.
Then there's a Sonic the Hedgehog, number 80, cover A, Hammerstorm. The art looks freaking amazing,
Fire. Yeah.
right? Then this is going to be weird, right? Because with Diamonds, they were doing unlockables, but you had to buy another book to unlock it. This one is an unlockable, but it doesn't. There's no thing that blocks you from ordering it, so it's just there. It's a unlocked, unlockable. It's fucking weird. Then there's an X-Men number 137 facsimile edition by Torrin Clark.
Okay.
Yeah, Clark has been fucking on fire, man. I love his work. He does outstanding work, man. Gonna have to reach out to that guy, see if we can get him on the show.
kind of like this. I gotta find out more about these Monsters High things, man. It's kind of I kind of like the pose on this one. Then there's a Scotty Young for Franklin Richards for Fantastic Four #1.
Nice. That would do
But
well.
that's a reprint. That must be a facsimile. That Franklin Richards is from 2006,
Really,
2009. Yes, sir.
that's crazy. Then there's Runaways #2. This one is a Stephanie Hans. She's definitely trying to get back into the game.
And correction, this is for the 23rd is what I'm seeing. So it might be mixed up with those 2 weeks, the 16th and the 23rd. But what you're showing now is popping up for me for the 23rd.
For on sale on the 23rd.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, this one has this on sale the 23rd and FOC June 23rd.
yeah,
And then Jeff the Land Shark. #2, Aaron Cooter.
fucking dope. And then also in this Jeff issue that we got this week was the first appearance of Shadow Jeff, and I think that it might be a
Yeah.
little controversial to agree because we only got one panel with Shadow Jeff in it, and he, gave us one line, whatever the fuck, right? And I'm wondering if the comic gods and the Council of Comics is going to deem that his first full appearance, right? Just because he has that one dialogue of right? Or is it going to be considered the second book?
Man. I don't
No, bro, I'm tired
yeah,
of this shit. That's why I said it
it's weird.
because I'm tired of this.
Especially
They lead us
with
to
how
believe it's going to be in
recently,
issue 1 and then
yeah,
fucking out of context, it's issue 2. Like, I'm fucking sick of that shit.
it's definitely in my opinion, it's issue one. Like the first Venom is 299. The first Hulk is Wolverine is Hulk 180. Can we just stop this bullshit already, please?
Yeah. What I'm wondering is this demon shark, or the shadow shark, going to show up as a skin or as a full-on character inside of Marvel Rivals?
Oh, I believe it. Just
I
wait
would
till people
definitely say
start
skin
talking about it.
minimum.
Dude, that's what I want to see. I want to see it as an ability, right?
That would be fucking awesome too.
Where you fucking mess around, you get your alt, and all of a sudden you fucking blast off a shadow chef or shadow Jeff. That would be freaking amazing. Okay,
And
Wolf.
also, before we go any further, I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
also mention that for sure, Fantastic Four presents Franklin Richards, Son of a Genius, #1. Now, just so everybody knows, this is from a bunch of one shots that came out between 2006 and 2009. They're not very expensive. I saw a few people had up all the one shots that you can just buy them all at once. If you don't worry about condition, if you worry about conditioning, you have to do a little bit of digging because there are quite a few up, but it is definitely a facsimile reprint. So, and we also get our first cover appearance of Shadow Jeff on the main cover of this particular book.
Really? What book was
Yes,
that
sir.
again?
For the Franklin or Jeff?
The Jeff.
The
Jeff.
Jeff is the main cover for the same book you got up right now.
Okay. Okay.
That'll be
So
his first cover appearance.
uh, oh yeah, right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. And then we also got 1 in 50 of that same book. That is by
Right.
Guru Hiru. Giver,
Yeah.
however you pronunciate that.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. This is definitely something that I wanted to push people to. Once again, this is on prhcomics.com. You got there's a definitely freaking like when you get to the freaking page, there's a FOC line right there. You just gotta scroll down. It'll say FOC whatever week. Click on them, whatever, and then if you want to see the other uh, covers for it, you just gotta scroll down, and then you'll see what Chris is talking about.
And then
Uh,
also, I wanted to mention the one with Modoc that you just had up was a 1 in 25. Um, so that would be the 1 in 25 for the number two. And 9 times out of 10, everybody is going to go for the 1 in 50 by Guri Hiru because that'll, like I said, not only will it be just first Shadow Jeff's first cover appearance, but that'll be on a Virgin 1 in 50 that looks really good.
mm,
That's a fucking dope ass book, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Having this dark like chef Jeff is fucking amazing.
Hold on, let me log into my actual Penguin account.
And let's shout out to Mr. Longshort because I'm pretty sure he may enjoy the Paco Medina Marvel Presents variant, which is in the middle right there, of her reading the brand new copy of Fantastic Four #1.
Yep.
So Marvel is continuing these reading variants, which I have enjoyed collecting them as they've been coming out. They've been going for like what a year now, I want to say, because we got the first one like a while ago.
Right. And if you look right there, there's also another Rivals variant,
Yes, sir.
right? And that Rivals variant, that's a skin that's already in the game.
Yes,
What
sir.
skin?
It's a keychain that Jeff saw. That's a pink shark with
All right,
these little pieces of flare on the end of it,
all
right?
right, cool. Like I said,
Um,
I just falling behind on Marvel Rivals a
yeah,
little bit.
and it's called Incognito Jeff, right? So I I'm too lazy to take it off because I love playing as Jeff, and I'm too lazy to take it off, and it is the least incognito shit ever. People are watching out for that pink fucking shit, the fucking so they can fucking attack me. But you know
It's
what?
pink cheese.
Yeah, I got something for them. And
And
then
then
go ahead, Chris.
also, over here on the right, we got the Tokito Toro variant, which is also pretty fire. They've been dropping some heat when it comes to Jess lately. I want to say that all the issues on #1 look pretty good and definitely look good in hand. So you don't have, I know since I brought the point up a couple of months ago that some of these stills aren't justice to the actual book in hand, but um, I must say that they were all very nice in hand. And if you didn't pick up that Jeff #1, make sure you get in touch with Lucas, any one of us up here on the panel
I
tonight,
got that
and
shit.
get in
I
touch
got
with
that shit.
us and pick up your copy.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by how good the story actually was. Um, and even Deadpool fucking shows up for some fucking reason. But yeah, I was shocked at something that there was actually a new freaking character. I was like, okay, and even even a little bit more surprised that it didn't even make it to the top 10 this week, which is kind of freaking crazy. Uh,
Yeah, the top
Yeah,
10 was
I think
kind of
it's a
a
book.
mix
Give it
up this
time.
week.
Just like give it time. I think on a book like this, uh, right now we're in that time period where there's just so much. I think
yeah.
certain things are getting overlooked.
Well, I mean, see,
That
this is
and
where we're failing the industry because a lot of people aren't reading the fucking book. So I think if we had a little bit more readers and not just cover gazers, we'd be in a little bit better spot.
Better, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Um, moving
Also,
on to
I want to encourage people to start reading their books. You know, not necessarily you don't have to read your hard copy. Catch it online though, but definitely start reading some of this stuff. Your voice is
Reading is
the only
fundamental.
voice that we have when it comes to comics, and they're only gonna listen to who speaks up. So if we don't speak up and say, "Hey, we don't want this shit anymore," they're not going to hear us because nobody's speaking up because nobody's reading it and nobody is doing their due diligence to read these stories and actually get into it.
yeah, you know who does speak up a lot? Those weird perverts that freaking who come to the comic book store every other freaking day. It says and is ordering some shit with about a 14-year-old girl with big tits. Those guys speak up. They've got a
Hmm.
loud voice,
And
and that's where our industry is going to
they
go.
speak up and they get a lot of books.
What the fuck?
And if you notice that a lot of the other books out here right now are definitely gravitating towards the sex appeal of some of these characters, and Marvel doesn't need that shit. Marvel and DC are good on their own without that shit.
Yeah. Um. So the art that I have up right now is Wolverine at number. What's that? 8. Yeah, Wolverine number 11.
11.
Alexander Lasagno. It.
Fucking looks good.
This is a homage to some big time art. I just can't remember what it is because it's got the bad guy, well, Sabretooth on top, and Wolverine just taking the pain and damage. And it looks like some big time art that they homaged it to, and I just can't remember what it is.
And
Let's look.
even with
Yeah.
that description, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that it might be homaging.
All right, but down at the
That's
bottom.
also a 1 in 25.
Yep. Yes, sir. Also, we got the Martin Coccolo. And then on the right, you've got the retro version variant by Leo Romero. Then we got Doom's Division number 5. This one is by Cleese Lee. Okay. And then you've got some variant covers by Jung Jun Yoon. And then the Doom cover is by Cleese Lee as well. Another Emma Frost, the White Queen, number 2 cover by Jessica Fong. That was $3.99. And then you've also got some. I like the one on the left. Oh, actually, that's a David Nakayama.
Yeah.
And then we already talked about the Jenny Frison.
And then the Margaret Sauvage, Between the Frisons, is the 1 in 25 on the book. And of course, your Frison is your 1 in 50.
Mm. Psylocke, an amazing Maria Wolf. The sleeves around the forearms, those are a little fucked up, but the rest of it, I love it. Absolutely fucking love it.
Yeah, Maria Wolf has been on a rampage lately. And because of the fact I want to mention this about her work, it's extremely detailed, and to the people that are unfamiliar with her work, it would seem a little busy. But out of all honesty, it's just the
They're
level of
fucking
detail is
assholes. You know why? And this may be freaking Tequila Lucas speaking, but the only reason why she hasn't getting recognized is because she hasn't been drawing girls with their tits out.
yep.
That's it. Otherwise, the artwork is immaculate, amazing.
And she also has a banger ass book coming out this week that sold out almost instantaneously. So she's on a roll though,
And
and
she's
Yeah,
been
this
killing it
is
for years.
yeah.
definitely gonna pick this up.
Then there's a Vincenzo Corrado, cover 2. And then there's on the right there's your retrovision variant, which I kind of like.
Yeah, it is dope too.
There's your 1 in 25 Sonic the Hedgehog number 80 by Food Drain.
Fire.
Godzilla vs. America Boston variant 1 in 50. Sherman black and white full art.
Interesting.
And the cover price is $7.99. So they'll maybe do math in public, but 4 times 50, so that's a $200 book right at the rip. Let's see. Storm number 10, the Karen Darbo variant.
Yeah, this is so good, so good. Karen Darbo is awesome. Um, she also has a Gwenpool for this same week that is also amazing.
And then there's your Lucas Wernick. And then on your right, that's the Pensacola Retrovision variant. It's an Uncanny X-Men. I think we already talked about that to call.
That yeah, I think he passed it a couple of rows ago, but that Greg Land Rogue 1 in 50 is also nice.
Yep, that Uncanny X-Men number 18, the Greg Land Rogue Virgin variant.
I like it when they use Rogue to display other people's powers. You like kind of this one, how she's displaying the powers of Gambit.
Hmm.
Uh, it's definitely a pickup for me. So, Greg Land, by the way, also has been doing some banger work, and he has for years. But I'm seeing that he's starting to get a little bit more recognition and more eyeballs on him. He had that Emma Frost on the top 10, so keep paying attention to the Greg Lands.
I forgot to go down to the bottom. Let's see. Then there's a Luciano Vecchio, a Rhodes Antonio variant in the middle. Actually, let me check this one out because I forget the name of this character, man. She just came out. I forget the name of her.
To my Mutina or Justina? I didn't
Yeah,
see. I can't
Mutina.
see her
Yeah,
too
Mutina,
well.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Her
She's gonna be
debut book,
she's
the one in
she's
50.
gonna be in Marvel Rivals. You can't tell me any fucking different.
Yeah, she'll be there.
Eventually.
Give it
Yeah,
by season 4.
the
Hey,
character
hey, hey,
design
hey!
is
Now she's
awesome.
a little girl.
I said season 4, man.
Oh, but I think they're yeah, okay,
I mean,
season 4.
but I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Season
You
so
4, most
say
pissed
violence, bitch.
that Ekijur, a however you pronounce his name, Ekijur, Ekijure.
Ikajuri.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, I'm so mad that their work is always submitted on time and sometimes early, because the 1 in 50 on her first appearance book, which is X-Men 18, it looks fucking phenomenal. We talked about it maybe a couple of weeks ago now, but it is fucking beautiful and it's already touching prices of 150 and up.
Mm.
So I was a little disappointed with you, Lucas, when they didn't use the art for the A cover as a 1 in 50 or at least 1 in 25. But hey, maybe on the second printing
That's the way it goes, man. Um, this one,
is the one that Doom need to get his ass whooped. Shout out to Mel on this one.
it's missing something. Maybe it's the background that's a little,
No,
but
it's
this
just
is this would be a classic
disrespectful.
cover.
It's
This,
disrespectful as fuck.
yeah.
Doing the stretch and read out and not in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Usually, when I've seen him
motherfucker,
stretch out, it's
and you gonna
related
be
to
behind me while you doing that shit, motherfucker? No, do do me even in front like a man. They'll be they'll be coming up behind me and doing that shit, man. Nah.
and for all those um what do you want to say, factual tip motherfuckers that like little tips. Reed Richards can only be killed if you stretch him so fucking far that he cannot keep up with his electricity and his body cannot react. So this is actually one of the very few ways to kill Reed Richards. Shout out to Comics Explained tidbits for that little tidbit. You know, he does these little videos of who who could who will we kill, and basically pick characters that is damn near impossible to kill, right?
Yeah.
I haven't checked that one out yet.
So there is a One World Under Doom number 6, Pablo Villalobos. That one's going to be an incentive.
Oh, and on the last, I think it was One World Under Doom run cover that we just got with Doomosaurus, and he had a couple of other dinosaurs in their respective comic years that was introduced in that Fantastic Four book where we got the first appearance of Doomosaurus.
Hmm.
But I only mention that because upcoming, we all have the Marvel Universe or Godzilla verse, the Marvel Universe coming up. On one of the next variants of that, we are finally going to get an Iron Zilla. Yeah, folks, you heard me
What?
right. Iron Zilla, which will basically be Godzilla in an Iron Man suit. For fuck's sake,
It's awesome.
it
So
is.
Mechzilla.
No, dude, it's like an Ironzilla. They
Yeah,
just
Mechzilla.
made. I don't
Yeah,
think
we've
they're
already
gonna.
got Mechzilla, but
Oh, I mean, well, I mean, like I said, dude, it. All right, like we'll talk
I
about
do. You
Mechzilla,
ain't gotta
but
say no more. I want to see what the fuck is going on. I got you. I just want to because there's Mechzilla, but now you're talking about is no. This motherfucker is Godzilla and a freaking okay. Gotcha. And basically in a Hulkbuster fucking joint. Okay,
yeah, and you know what's so
gotcha.
crazy is that it's not even like bulky like the Hulkbuster armor, right? It's like, dude, they gave Godzilla a fucking sleek ass, fucking well fitted Iron Man suit, dude. And it'll be a cover appearance, I think, for maybe issue, I want to say 4, but it was just revealed today.
All right, I guess we'll see. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a J. Scott Campbell variant for this, but we just don't have the art for it yet. So that's going to be something to keep an eye out on. Man, this one I love the Amazing Spider-Man number 8. Gabriel Otto, you got Spider-Man just sitting in his web right there, and only the master can pull this off with the freaking light. That's not the light on the subject, but the light coming off the background. Just he decided this. He said, "Okay, you guys are fucking around. Let me show you a little something." And yeah, this one's going to be a variant. Let's see, what is it? It is a 1 in 100. A little too high for my blood. And then there's a John Romita Jr. on the left. A Humberto Ramos that we still don't have the cover for. I believe we already talked about the Jeff DeCal. Then the Dan Panosian Retrovision variant. I forget the name of this. Gate Killer or
Hellgate. Hellgate.
Hellgate. Yeah, Hellgate. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's going to be a
Has been
trait
an
investigator
awesome
to
fucking
go out.
character, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I just read issue 6. I actually think he's going to be a very interesting character.
Then Giant Size Dark Phoenix Saga number 1, the second print, which is a homage to what is it again?
Dark Phoenix, the death of Jean Grey, Dark
Uh,
Phoenix.
the Uncanny 137.
No, it's Infinite Crisis. It's Infinite Crisis. Excuse me. It's yeah the It's a homage to Infinite Crisis. I'm talking about the cover art, by the way.
Okay.
But didn't they
One
do the
with
same thing with fucking Cyclops holding Jean Grey? I thought that's what this is.
they probably did. Marvel has
I
homaged it a
think the
lot.
yeah, if it's the Infinite Crisis, it's the one where Superman is holding Supergirl.
Yeah. What, from over 40 years ago?
Exactly 40 years. That's one of the most homage death poses of all time, though. I mean, I know it's a niche. That's a niche collecting thing in certain spots.
Yeah, it's a homage to Uncanny X-Men 136. So who did it first? Was it DC on with Crisis on
Yeah, I think
Infinite
yeah, if
Earths?
that's the case, it would have been Marvel.
Well, that's why I'm asking now. Which one? Who did it
Yeah, because the
first?
136 came out before the Infinite Seven.
So Uncanny X-Men 136 came out first before Infinite Crisis Earths.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So that's the homage cover, with Cyclops in his yellow speedo suit holding Dark Phoenix, the dead Dark Phoenix.
All right. Next up is Iron Man number 10, the Alan Villanueva Marvel television variant. So it's like a little preview to the Ironheart thing.
Yeah, and might I say, dude, these MCU variants have been fucking dope. I'm sorry, for the people that dislike it, but they have been fucking dope.
Well, the best one was the first ones, and that was the during the Agatha Harkness, right? You had Agatha Harkness, and then you had she's not Death. I forget
Yeah,
whatever her
she is death. But
not the Death, not the Death, not the Death. It's it's written in the freaking stones. It's not the Death. Maybe an avatar for a small version of Earth's Death, but she's not the Death.
I
The
think
Death.
she's just like an avatar for death, basically,
Yeah.
because she is like referred to as like death itself. Basically, I thought the whole thing, like upon her introduction in Agatha, I thought that was them basically saying like she is death, but in more of an avatar form, because the death that we all know from the comics, that's just a fucking skull and a robe with a face here and there sometimes.
So I don't want to fuck people up, but you know who else who has an avatar that's a skull that always wears green, that is also closely associated with death, that can travel back and forth from the underworld to the main world? Gaia. Yep, Gaia. It's even mentioned that Gaia controls everything in the
Are you
WandaVision
talking
show.
about Thor's mom?
hmm No, Thor's mom. They're all over the place with Thor's mom because they also said that Phoenix was Thor's mom at one fucking point. But yeah, Gaia.
in the spirit of the Earth.
Yep, Mother Earth. Yep.
Well, her whole ordeal right now, it was explained in the first, I want to say, 6 issues of Immortal Thor by Al Ewing, and they kind of dived into Gaia and her children, and then it went into the wheel. So,
Yep.
very very good shit, very good shit. Al
Yeah.
Ewing is amazing.
Right. Yeah. I mean I love it because you know how Christians and Jews have a book, right? And whenever you want to find out about what this means, you just go to the book, which is actually a compilation of different other books. But for um, some of these, especially like the uh, Swedish gods and some of the Danish gods and some of these uh, I forget what you freaking call them, but like these witchcraft freaking deities. There's poems, right, that you have to extract that stuff out of, right? They're like one quick hit 'ems, but and if you just read the paragraph, it doesn't mean anything to you. But if you start applying it to like how it would work, it's like, oh shit, that little paragraph actually means a lot. Um, which was why I definitely hope would wish that people would read some of these poems and then go back and watch some of these shows, and then some of that stuff. Like you thought you liked Loki. No, read the poems, then go back and read Loki. Go back and read the stuff on Darkhold, especially the new one where the boy was the Darkhold. Then go back and watch the freaking show. Read up on Gaia. Then go watch the freaking show, man. They I got to give a chef's kiss and their flowers to the freaking writers who did so much research. And if you think I'm fucking around, even on there's like little Easter eggs where they literally write the shit out. Like, hey, go read this. Like I remember the first time I saw it, like it was on in Loki. One of them was it was like on the soda machine. It literally had like which poem you needed to freaking go to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then yeah, it's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
because
freaking
even
gotta
with
give.
Gaia, I had another introductory of her in Avengers 1 million BC, where they did declare her as the first original host of the Phoenix Force, and then kind of hit towards that's where the relationship between Thor and Gaia started in order for us to get Thor, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know the most important part of the whole Gaia storyline is right is that I think it was in Thor Annual number 10 or some shit like that, where she gave birth to the Demiurge. The
yeah,
Demiurge that eventually kills all the evil gods, right? And to get out of being killed, one of those evil gods actually made the Darkhold, right?
Catan.
So yeah, right. So here's the crazy thing though, right? Cathan is not a person. Cathan is a class of underworld freaking gods. And one of the chthonic gods is actually Gaia.
Now, is this in Norse mythology or?
That's in Greek mythology. Yep.
Or in Greek, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just asking because like, I'm a huge fucking Catan fan. I have like all of his first appearances, even his first appearances and when he was only known as the other.
Yep.
All the way back to that, which was Giant Size Chillers #1, first appearance of Mordred the Mystic as well. But I went back and I always deep dive into characters like that, even in like the collecting world today, right? Most people are firm collectors of superheroes, right? Those are
Mhm.
your biggest big dollar books. I am kind of like the opposite. I am like a villain chaser, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I look for the first appearances of Catan, first appearances of Kang, and first appearance of all these other different characters like that, which is how I stumbled upon Mordred the Mystic, read Giant
Yeah.
Size Chillers #1, and then really got into it. So
So the great thing about chasing down the stuff on the Darkhold and Mordred Mystic is that it leads you into one of the most important appearances of Gents. Remind me again in the Marvel universe, is it Swamp Thing or is it Man Thing? Which
It's
one is
Man
it?
it's
Thing.
Man Thing.
Is Man Thing. Okay. So Man Thing shows up as these two kids are messing around with the Darkhold, with like a copy of the freaking Darkhold. And that establishes him as the. It's not. What is it? What's it called? It's not the endpoint, the choke point, the. I forget what the
It's
fuck.
the
Nexus
nexus of
Point.
all
There you go. There
realities.
you. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Establishes him as the freaking nexus of the freaking world. So yeah, you're talking about some good stuff, man. Freaking, I think trying to remember if I did a Matrix on this a while ago. Oh,
I
fucking
think,
that
yeah,
shit! It would have been
Oliver did
5
a
years
Matrix
ago.
on this a long time ago.
Yeah, I think in fact, we probably need to freaking do a Matrix.
Re-
Yeah,
refresh
right
it.
after the first episode of Ironheart, and break some of the stuff out. What
So
some of the stuff
how
is.
are we going to be doing Matrixes these days?
What's that?
So you want to bring the Matrix back?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't bring Ultra back. He's super hard working on getting his life back together. All right, but let's go
Well,
ahead and let's go ahead and freaking get this done so we're not here till the sun comes up. Within Iron Man number 2, a new arrival. This guy's name is Julia Villanueva. Juyu Villanueva, and it looks not bad, man. I like what's going on here. It's all types of crazy stuff. It's got looks like it's Doom, but with like the tentacles from Ak. It's weird. I like it. Then let's see. We've also got Runaways number 2, Yasmin Putri. I like the upside down action going on there. Then, like you were talking about, there's a Paco Medina variant. West Coast Avengers number 9, Scott Galuski variant. And then
And then
there's a
they're bringing your boy back on the 1 in 25. Um, that big fucking Viking Venom. Forgot his name, but he's on the 1 in 25 for Spider Verse versus Venom verse.
hmm, it was a great art, but nobody cared. Nobody really cared about him. Spider Girl number 1, the Carrie Andrews second print. I believe we already covered the David Nakayama. Here's your Iron Man number 10, Annie Wu Retrovision variant. Spider Verse, Venomverse number 3, Inhyuk Lee. Got Spider Pig going against what the fuck? I forget what this guy's name is.
Damn near looks like Spider
What
Ham
lines?
versus Agent Venom.
Da, da, da. Yeah, it doesn't give.
Like, did Spider Ham grow legs or something? Like, grow longer legs or
Could
like
that be
what the
Pork
fuck?
Rinds he's fighting? Pork Rinds was the Spider-Ham Venom.
No, it doesn't look like pork rind. I mean, it does, but I don't know, dude. It looks like Spider Ham with longer extremities fighting Agent Venom.
hmm
Interesting.
And then there's a Jim Towel variant, and then there's also a Jane Bazudua variant.
Which is the 1 in 25.
Iron Man number 10, Jim Mahfood. Looks like he's trying to get a little Maria Wolf. Gwenpool number 3, the Karen Darbo variant.
Fucking beautiful.
And there's Stefano
The book
Nassi.
has actually been surprisingly good as well.
Interesting. So they got Gwenpool possessing Spider-Man to knock out the other Gwenpool. Interesting. And Iron Man. Okay, that is it for um, the
I mean,
Marvel IDW and everything. Now here's the catch. Once again,
you
um,
throw one
previews
more
is
up
not.
there real
Yeah,
quickly.
preview. I'm sorry. Say what?
I say you throw one more up there really quick before we
Which
get done with
which?
Marvel.
Yeah, which one?
The Death of Silver Surfer #1, second printing, 1 in 25 by Trad Moore. We're also getting the Ron Lim that was the foil for issue 1 as a basic cover for second print. So, but the Trad Moore is going to do exceedingly well. If you're not familiar with Trad Moore, definitely check him out. go pick up some of his work. He did a lot of the covers for Silver Surfer Black, so definitely check that out. But I'm looking at big things for this 125. But
Yeah,
that was it. Go ahead, Lucas. My bad.
yeah. But Derek Neiman
Thanks,
says
fellas.
Lucas is either
I'm
too
going to
hot.
bounce.
Yeah. Derek Neiman says Lucas is either too high or not high enough. And Chad Cave says, "Yep, I can do this all night." Well, yeah. So there's the okay. So we covered the fact that um, previews world is not covering everything perfect. Perfect. I can see some of the stuff, but Chris can't see some of the stuff. So once again, to see this stuff, go to prhcomics.com and you'll actually sign in and everything. You'll actually be able to accumulate all the stuff that you're gonna freaking order into an Excel sheet and everything. Well, what about some about DC and the other stuff? Wouldn't you know that the distributor for DC has their own page as well? That you don't need a retailer account to get into. You can just go to Lunar, Lunar distribution.com, and then go to scroll down to where it says upcoming FOC. Go to the FOC date, which is 6/23, and then here's everything. So, for instance, like this absolutely freaking gorgeous Absolute Batman number 10, which is a cover B for Gabrielle Delato. It's going to be about
Hells yeah.
$5.99.
And is this for the same week of the 23rd?
It is
Yep.
not. It is for July 16th.
Yeah, that's what I figured it
Mhm.
was because it was a whole different setup here.
Absolute
Excuse me,
Batman number
guys.
10.
I'm going
Yep.
to bounce.
Okay, man. Glad to
Much
have you, man.
love.
Freaking happy to see
Yeah,
you, man. Haven't seen you in a while.
like I said, my whole abdomen is starting to really hurt. I can't sit in the chair anymore. So much
Yeah,
love,
yeah, yeah.
guys.
We
All
need to
right, my
get you one
boy.
of the. We need to get Adam one of those avatars so he can like, just be in bed, man, and just do the same shit.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's the Absolute Batman number 10, 1 and 50 by Sean Crystal.
I'm
Kind
actually
of reminds me of
feeling
the
that
Dan
one.
Hip.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm feeling that one.
Batman Absolute Flash number 5. Here's the 1 and 25 by Namit Malavia. And here's a 1 and 50 by Hanning. Some people really enjoy some of these toy action figure variants. This one is Batman 655 Facsimile Edition, cover B by Jason Geyer and Alex Sovic.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but these DC action figure variants have been selling really well, and I don't expect any less for this one.
Then Batman and Robin Year 1, number 9, 1 and 25 by Rebecca Isaacs. Then Batman Superman World's Finest, number 41, Kevin McGuire, the Superman movie card stock variant.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. But that main cover that he passed on World's Finest was dope too with Bizarro.
Yeah, that one's
Um,
by Adrian Gutierrez.
no, not that one.
Not that one?
The yeah main cover.
Dan
Yeah, right
Moore.
there. Yeah, that's kind of fire. I like that for some reason.
Yeah, it's got all the Bizarros.
Yeah, fire. I need one.
Um, Once again, for
Double A.
Batman, Superman World's Finest, number 41, 125, Diwali card
Yeah,
stock.
pretty dope too.
Benjamin number 2, 1 and 10, Christian Ward.
Did you get a chance to check that out yet?
What's it called? Benjamin number two, Benjamin number one. Yes, I did, and I liked it. I just
All
don't
right.
remember what. Let's see. I just don't remember what it was about.
Yeah, Midtown is just late right now, so I didn't get it yet.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then Blood and Thunder, 1 to 10, 1 to 25 by Bernard Chang. Code Witch Tale. Code Witch Tale of the Strata College, number three. This one is a 1 to 10 by Slimy Brain.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Makes you wanna go pick up the first one since they're gonna do all ice cream variants.
Darkstalkers X Street Fighter Blood, Throne number one. Cover A by Alberto Albuquerque. I don't know, man. It looks pretty damn fucking good. And then who did this one? Dax Gordine, which was a Scotty Young ripoff.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I'm not digging the hand placement, especially with them fucking claws on this 1 to 5 by Alex Ahad. Um, DC and Sonic the Hedgehog, number one. Fourth print, the Superman variant. DC Detective Comics, 10.99, Mikhail Janin. Then there's your Jay Lee Gotham City Sirens cardstock variant.
Yeah, I like Jay Lee's work a lot, but I'm starting to, sometimes I just feel like his covers are missing something. Like, he does the artwork excellent, but a lot of the times, I'm not gonna lie, bro, it be feeling like just something is missing. Like,
Yeah, sometimes, right? But I actually love this one.
yeah, it's dope as fuck. I like it
This
too.
one, I love this one. The other ones, I'm like, man, there's just something missing.
Yeah.
Once again, staying on 10.99 for Detective Comics. This one is a 1 to 25 by Ashley Wood. Um, oh yeah, definitely Maria Wolf all day. Dread the
Fire.
Hall H, cover A by Maria Wolf. Gotta have this one, even though it's 6.99. Gotta have it. EC Catacombs of Torment, number one, 1 to 10 by Jay Stevens, homage. And then there's a Jorge Fornes gold foil variant. Jesus. Here we go with some Dynamite stuff. Gargoyles, number one, the Mark Spears variant. We've been talking about
Yeah, I
this for
remember.
forever.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it just, with all this shit going on, Diamond is just pushed back quite a bit. Just like Essentia number 29. I guess we'll never get that book either.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll unfuck it. So, the crazy thing about it was um, there was all types of and people are just attacking Diamond right now as the only one that's having invoice issues and they're billing the fucking pay. There's other fucking companies out there that are all fucked up. And I don't know. I only know this because I'm the only one that pays attention to the lawsuit papers that I've been getting and reading the shit. Um, I forget what I was fucking talking about. So fuck it. Ghost Pepper number one, fucking gorgeous. Cover B by Archer.
Yeah, that shit is fire.
Then here's a 125 by Joe Madeira. Madureira. This 1 in 10 by Kyle Nagu.
That's fire too.
G.I. Joe 1 in 10, Alan Qua. Then a 1 in 25 by John Moore, G.I. Joe. And then a 1 in 50 by Ito. Don't know what the fuck is going on, but Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit, #3 by Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson. And then there's a Nobovich cardstock. And then there's your 1 in 25 by Helen Mask.
Not bad. Seems like she's trying to do a Sozo Micah thing with the frame.
Um, People might be interested in this one. Green Lantern #25, Steven Subic, glow in the dark foil.
Ooh, now that's intriguing.
Okay. All right, we got 5 minutes to get through the rest of the stream. Apparently, Heat Seeker explodes a gun, honey. Yep, we talked about the Hercules #4, the naked variant. Some Battle Beast, issue #3. There's your David Nakayama. And then there's your 1 in 50 by Liam Sharp. That's a, I forget, I think it's a Conan homage. King Spawn #47, cover B. And then Invincible Universe Battle Beast #3. There's a 1/100, Simon Beasley.
They've been putting all the best ones on the 1 in 100, so commend them for that. But man,
Can't forget to do this one. Mark Spears #3, second print, cover B, 1/20, Swamp Thing variant. And then this one is the second print, cover A, #3, Something Wicked variant.
that's fire too.
Mercy Sparks Daddy Issues #1, cover A by Joel Herrera.
Yeah, that's fire, dude. I need that too. Back with the Lilo and Stitches.
Yeah, we've played some of these already. Dynamite, Red Sonja. We've done the Space Ghost before.
Yeah, this is all the shit that we've been talking about for the last month or so.
Yeah, this ends night #1, 1/25, Adam Hughes.
Yes, sir. And then there's also a Jay Lee, if I'm not mistaken, or it
Yep.
might be for issue 2.
Nope. #3. Nope. Excuse me. This ends night #1, cover F, 1/500, J Lee convention sketch variant.
Holy shit.
Retail price is $4.99, so this will cost you about $1,500 at least. And that's my math is pretty damn fucking bad, so it's gonna be a lot more, maybe more than that. Thundercats #16. There's your Lucia Perillo foil. Fucking diamond, man. Yeah, we played these. Ooh, Witchblade number 12, cover C, Art Germ. And here's a 1 of 50 for it. Wonder Woman number 23, David Nakayama. All right, gents, this is the end of the freaking road. We ran out of freaking time. We'll see you guys freaking later. We're out.